Alright, so welcome to the very first website building project. Today we are going to be making a very simple website using HTML and CSS only. So here I have a folder named as new website, which has a folder named as CSS, which will be containing our CSS file and two images. So alright, so first of all I'm going to go to my editor, and here I've opened that folder, which is I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I would highly recommend you guys using Visual Studio Code because of a lot of reasons. Firstly, the amount of extension it gives, and it creates quite ease while you're coding and programming. Alright, here so I am going to create a new file named as index.html, and inside the CSS folder I'm going to create a file named as style.css. That's it. Alright, so let's start the coding. Here in HTML I'm just going to put exclamation mark and hit tab key. This is going to give me a template for the website and the web page. Here on the front on title it says okay, so what is title basically? Alright, let me explain you everything here. So here on above we have an HTML tag, a body tag, and a head tag. Alright, and of course here in the tag of title it says document. We can give it as first web page. Alright, first web page. That'd be great, that'll work. Alright, so this is the title. This is what it appears on the browser on the heading of a tab. When you're looking at the tab, this is what appears on the tab. I hope that's clear. Alright, let's come to the body tag, and the first thing that we are going to make is a div. Alright, making a div, and then of course we are going to first program and make a navigation bar that is going to be UL, and it is going to have the following elements as the list items, which would be links used for the navigation bar, and href means something when you click and it takes you to that particular link, but here we have nothing, we just a simple template, so we are going to use hash. We are going to name this as this home, that should be, and then we'll copy this for 3 to 4 times. Alright, so let's change these, and then we'll have something like as phone. Let's give it as gallery. You can name them whatever you want. Okay, let's give it about, and let's give it contact. That's it. Alright, so let's see how does this web page look like inside the browser. Let me open the browser, and there we go. So this is what it looks like. Let me hit a slight little change, and that should be it. So I'm doing this in order to actually see what changes we make onto the web page. It's pretty simple here. We have done this. This is the first thing in the first step. We are done, and now let's do some styling. Alright, and we have done nothing here, just a simple page. Let's do some styling. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to do is use asterisk, and this asterisk is means that whatever style I'm going to apply, this will be applied to the entire home page. Alright, so first of all I'm going to give padding as 0, margin as 0, and I am going to make font family as sans-serif. That should be it. Alright, so one thing I did not forgot, well actually I could have done, is that I could have had a header tag and put this entire code in the header tag. Alright, that's a small mistake here. Let's cross it out, and there we go. It's fixed. No, I don't think it's fixed. Let a second. Let's fix this up. There we go. There we go, and now this is fixed. Let me align the code a little bit. That should be it. That's good. So we have an header tag. Let's do it this way. Alright, so you can actually have everything like this without using the header tag, but this header tag is is going to make things easier for you when you're working on a larger page or the larger project. All right, here. So then the first thing I'm going to do is going to take the header tag and give it a background image. Let's take the background image as URL. We already have this image in my folder. You can see this here, and here's the image that I'm going to be using it. So the name is 1.jpg, so let's use that, right? 1.jpg. all right, nothing happens here. Let's do this, and let me do it. All right, so here I have this thing. All right, so one more thing we need to do is we need to include our CSS file in the link. All right, now here we are going to add our CSS style sheet. We are going to include that, otherwise we are not going to be able to see any styling here on the here in our web page. On our web page, here we go to the style. This is the ref, but it's inside the folder of CSS and then style.css. So we get it in this way. It's going to be referring to this style sheet. We are going to be applying the styles to. I hope that's clear. All right, now let's give it some style and background. All right, so in the first of all, we are going to give it journal styling. That is going to be of padding, that is 0, margin, that is 0 as well. Then we are going to give a font family, which is going to be sans-serif. That should be it. All right, the next thing we are going to give is apply. All right, let us see how does it look like in the browser first. All right, so it looks something like this. So you see here the title, first web page, and then we have this sans-serif 0 padding with 0 thing, which you can see here, and it is quite you know, there is no margin, but we are going to style this page soon. Now let's apply some background to the header. Let's go to header. We created this. We got a background image URL. Alright, since I have enabled the live server, which I highly recommend while you are working, in this way you are going to be able to see the small changes you make on your web page. There we go. So this is the background URL here, and I'm going to add an image which is going to be 1.jpg. let's check it, jp, right, but doesn't order. That should work. There we go, we have it here. Right, now since we have this here, we are just going to apply some style to that. That is background size cover. We're going to give it as height of 100 VH, background position, center. You see how clean it looks. This is such a clean picture and nothing much to do with this thing. And now I think we need to style these lists here. We are going to take our UL element. We are going to make it float towards the right side of the page. Float. Right, you see this comes float right here. I think that's it. We don't need to do anything with else. Then we go to UL li to the list elements. That's it. Give us as display inline. Let's do it the text decoration to no, let's not do this right now. All right, no, we'll do those for the links. All right, the display is inline, and we are going to give some padding. All right, so you see this list is quite up with the top. We are going to give it as margin top of 25 pixels. That's good. We have inline. Let's do it inline block. That should be work. Now if you want to see how does it look like, I'll show you. That's what it looks like here, but you know, these are all together. We need to edit these fonts as well. Let's do this. All right, let's go to UL li and 8th element, because we are now we are working on this links. Okay, go to link URLi a link. First thing that I'm going to be giving to this links is their text decoration to none. You see, I have removed these underlines from them. Alright, so now I'm going to give some padding to them. Let's make it 5 pixel and give it 20 pixel. That's good. You see, these are at distance right now. They look good. And let's give them some border. I would say 1 pixel, 1 pixel solid. Let's make it transparent, because I'm going to apply an hover effect later on, so that it will be transparent here. That's good. Let's give them color of white. They look better, and I think we are good to go with the links. I think we are good. Alright, now here we are going to give a class to this. Alright, so here I'm giving this home as a class of active, and because I have to actually edit and format this element home here, so that is the reason. And before I give an active to this element, let me make and give an hover effect dot hover. So hover background color should be white and color should be black. So when I put the cursor on this is going to be, you see this. Alright, so you see the border is quite vivid. Let me make the border as little smooth. So border radius 2 pixels. I think that should be good. Let me make it 5 pixel. That looks good. Alright, so the next thing would be making this element active. ULLI a dot active. A means the link and dot active is the class name, which is the class of this element here, home. So I'm going to apply background color of white and give it color. Let me give some different color. That looks good. No, let me make it black. That's going to give a very decent look. And there is it. We have this color. Works good, perfectly fine. It should be good. Alright, so we have pretty much styled everything about the list and all. We didn't have nothing left here. Alright, so here we are good with this div tag. Everything is done with the navigation bar. Let me add a title. So I'm going to place this inside a div tag. Okay, so let me give it the class as title. Here let me give it the heading as an h1. No, I didn't mean that. h1. There's something wrong here. What's wrong? Wait a second. h1 first web page. It's okay. Here's in the live rule is not possible, but that's okay. It will be possible. There we go. You see this? So it's the something with the extension. It does do. If you have this extension, you know about that. H1. We have the h1 element here. Okay, let me make another div class and give them a class of buttons, and then I'm going to give 2 buttons as these. Give them class as btn, and this button would be, for instance, HTML. It can be anything, just we are learning for the learning purpose. I'm giving the name, and there we go. I duplicated it and named it as CSS here. Alright, so here we can clearly see that I have designed this thing, and now I have placed the h1 heading element here. I am going to format the first element here. First of all, I am going to be accessing our class, which is of title. Let me go there. There we go. Inside the title, I'm going to give it a top position of 50%. I am here using the okay, so what does 50% mean here? This 50% actually means, oh, I think I'm giving a wrong class name. Let me check. Yep, there we go. And it's right. All right. Okay, let me give it a position of absolute position. Alright, there's a difference between positioning as absolute and relative. We will be having a detailed discussion on that later on. since it is using the 50% height of the web page, let me give it a position of from the left, which would be 50% as well. In this way it is centered, but it's not totally centered. Here I'm going to be using as transform and translate. Let's give it minus 50% comma minus 50%. This would be in perfect central position, and let me give it a color of white. This will look good now, much better. Here, much better. Let me increase the size of the by 100 to 50 200%. Let's do it 200%. That's good. It should look good here. Perfect. Okay, now let's access the buttons that I've made here. Dot buttons. There we go. Alright, so here I have a class of buttons. I'm going to copy the entire code from the title, not code, basically styling, and let me just change this a bit for 70% in this way. Sorry, I meant 70%, and then we have this thing here, pretty much it, I guess. And let me just not give this thing here. We are good to go with the buttons. Let's go with the buttons here again, using these things for that. Alright, so here we are going to give them a color white. Let's give them some padding of 3 pixels and 10 pixel. No, let's make it 30 pixel. This would look beautiful here if you see that. And of course I'm going to give some border to this. That would be 2 pixel solid and should be white. There we go.